Lately, I've been playing a lot of roguelike, bullet hell, survivor-like games. You know the type. Simple on the surface, ridiculously addictive, one more run energy. They're fun, they scratch that dopamine itch, but usually they take a few runs before they really click for me. Yet another Zombie Survivors was different. This game hooked me almost instantly from the very first moment. With most games in this genre, I need a few runs to understand what's going on, what actually matters, and whether there's real depth underneath the chaos. With yet another Zombie Survivors, I immediately saw the potential, and more importantly, I immediately felt how much player choice and agency actually matter here. Let me say this straight away. This game is still in early access, but development is nearing its full release, and I can safely say it is already worth it. It genuinely feels like a finished product. If you're looking for a high-quality roguelike bullet hell indie game that offers meaningful choices and fair progression, you can absolutely buy this now. There will also likely be a small price increase at full release, so honestly, now is a great time to pick it up. Let's talk about the gameplay, starting with the characters. Yet another Zombie Survivors currently gives you 8 characters to choose from, with the 9th coming at full release. Each character fills a somewhat unique role. You start every run by picking one character as your squad leader, and as the run progresses, you can recruit up to 2 more characters, building a small squad instead of controlling just a single unit. Each character starts with a weapon, which acts as their auto attack, and on top of that, they can unlock up to 4 abilities during the run. Both your weapon and your abilities start at rank 1, and you can upgrade them up to rank 4, becoming more powerful as you progress. Now this is where the game really starts to shine. Once an ability reaches rank 4, it doesn't just stop there. It can be modified to a stronger, altered version of itself. These modifiers don't just increase numbers, they actually change how the ability behaves, which opens up a lot of interesting build paths. Weapons work in a similar, but in my opinion, even more interesting way. After upgrading a weapon to rank 4, you don't just keep scaling it. Instead, you upgrade into a different, more powerful weapon. Then, once that weapon also reaches rank 4, the game gives you 3 powerful weapon choices, and you commit to one of them for the rest of the run, upgrading it further. For example, the SWAT character starts with a pistol. Once the pistol reaches rank 4, the next weapon upgrade unlocks the SMG, which has higher DPS. After upgrading the SMG to rank 4, you're offered 3 new weapons: the sniper rifle, the grenade launcher, or my personal favorite, the assault rifle, each fitting a different playstyle. This layered progression is a huge reason why the game feels so good to play. You're constantly making meaningful decisions instead of blindly stacking upgrades, and these decisions matter a lot more on higher difficulties. Using that same example, if you're building a squad that relies heavily on explosive damage, then choosing the grenade launcher for your SWAT character makes a lot more sense. The more explosive damage tags you have, the stronger your explosive weapons and abilities become. Which brings me to damage tags. Each weapon and almost every ability uses 1 or more damage types. When you unlock them, you gain their corresponding damage tags. There are 7 damage types: kinetic, slashing, explosive, fire, ice, chemical, and electric. Each damage type has a chance to apply status effect. For example, the Ghost's Blade auto attack can apply bleed, causing enemies to take percentage-based damage over time. The SWAT's pistol deals kinetic damage, which has a chance to apply injure, increasing all damage the enemy receives. The more tags you stack for a specific damage type, the higher the chance to apply its status effect will be, and the higher the damage of weapons and abilities that use that type will be. 10 or more tags, you also unlock an additional effect. For instance, electric damage can stun enemies, but at 10 or more tags, it can also trigger a lightning strike that deals area of effect damage. Understanding these damage types and knowing which characters naturally synergize with the damage you're building towards is essential if you want to really min-max your runs. In terms of content, there are currently 4 stages and 6 different game modes, each with 3 difficulty tiers. Even in early access, there is already a surprising amount of structure and replayability here. Each stage has its own theme and gimmick. For example, the desert stage features a sandworm that periodically tries to devour you and nearby enemies. The terminal stage has trains that move through the map, hitting everything in their path. Each stage can also spawn specific elite and boss enemies, like the werewolf boss in the swamp or the mummy elites in the desert that surround and close in on your position. As for the modes, default is the standard mode, with zombies spawning at a moderate pace and evolving every few minutes. Endurance removes the time limit and just keeps scaling difficulty indefinitely. Hardcore is basically default mode on steroids, everything happens twice as fast. Extermination, my personal favorite, is a round-based mode where you must kill all zombies to progress. Every 5 rounds acts like a boss wave, and the mode heavily changes how you plan your build. Zombies don't drop experience, and instead you make important decisions between rounds. This mode reminded me a lot of Call of Duty Zombies, and I really wish more roguelites experimented with modes like this. One hit, or no hit as I like to call it, gives you just one hit point. Your movement and dodging skills are constantly tested. I really enjoyed this mode, although once I figured out the right squad and build, especially on tier 3 difficulty, it did feel like I had solved the puzzle. Finally, there's Infinite mode, which was added recently. I haven't played it yet, but based on the description, it's similar to Endurance, except with no item limit. It's basically pure power fantasy. One thing I really appreciate is that each mode has a clear time limit you need to reach to successfully complete a run. I like when roguelites do this. It gives each run a sense of closure. It gives off a certain feeling like, that was close but I made it type of feeling. The time limits also make sense for each mode. Default is 20 minutes, hardcore is 10, one hit is 5, and so on. Some modes continue beyond the time limit, but reaching it is still required to unlock higher difficulties. Another thing I personally like is that the maps are closed. I mentioned this in my Deathmatch Die early access video as well. I'm not a fan of endless procedurally generated maps. Closed maps create tension, especially when you're being chased around the edges by hundreds of enemies. The roguelite progression mainly comes from upgrades. There are squad-wide upgrades unlocked with cash collected during runs, and character-specific upgrades unlocked using training points. Training points are earned based on how long and how far you progress with each character, which makes longer, successful runs feel genuinely rewarding. You also unlock items through achievements, and the game lets you ban up to 20% of the total item pool. That feature alone gives you much more control over randomness and makes the experience feel more skill-driven. That said, most items are fairly situational, and it's very clear which ones are the strongest. The first few item chests can heavily shape your run. If you get lucky and pull some of the strongest items early, the rest of the run becomes much smoother. That being said, picking weaker items doesn't doom you to failure. As long as your build and squad strategy make sense, you can still succeed. Just like in my Deathmatch Die video, I want to talk briefly about what I'd change, a few personal recommendations. After all, what's the point of early access if not for players to give constructive feedback to the developers? Honestly, it was hard to come up with criticisms, and that says a lot about how much I love this game. The foundations are excellent, the gameplay loop is strong, and player choice actually matters. Most of my issues come down to balance. Some upgrades feel underwhelming compared to others. For example, upgrading the SWAT's pistol to rank 3 only increases magazine size, while other upgrades noticeably increase DPS. The same goes for the helicopter raid ability. Upgrading it past rank 2 often doesn't feel worth it. Then again, this ability is quite powerful, so that might be on purpose. Some tier 3 weapons and evolved abilities also feel a bit weak, like the SWAT sniper rifle or much of the Pyromancer's kit. Honestly, the Pyromancer could use some love, or at least strong synergy with the 9th character coming at full release. Ability synergies are also fairly weak overall, though that may be intentional. I still appreciate them existing as they add flavor. They're nice little details that make characters work better together. For example, pairing the Pyromancer's Molotov with a Hunter gives it a chance to taunt nearby enemies. It's not a huge deal, but it can be useful. I'd also love to see more map variety. Each map having a gimmick is great, but unique layouts with tighter corridors, open areas, obstacles, cliffs that close down the space, or even elevation would add even more personality. In any case, these are all minor issues, none of them take away from the core experience. The gameplay, like I said, is excellent, progression feels fair, and the game is genuinely satisfying to play. I've already put over 60 hours into Yet Another Zombie Survivors, and despite it still being in early access, I've more than gotten my money's worth. For me, this is about as good as it gets in the roguelite bullet hell genre right now. It's focused, it respects player choice, and it keeps pulling me back in. I can't wait to see what the developers at Awesome Game Studios do for the full release. Although, honestly, it already feels like a complete game. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you want more content like this. I'm considering making more videos on Yet Another Zombie Survivors. Things like strategies, strongest characters, or best items, so let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. I just love this game so much, and I would love if more people found out about it, and that drives me to create more content for it. Anyway, thanks again for watching, now go play Yet Another Zombie Survivors.